What up, Panther Nation, Panther Ropp Star Gang? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream over here on YouTube. Appreciate y'all. We got a good show for you today. Marcos Cash is in here, Mad Chatter's in here, Panther Raider X is in here, Jadarius is in here, Chris Mack is in here, Jen's in here. So appreciate everyone joining the live stream over here on the YouTube channel. But JB, to your question over here, I'm a Gamecock, Coastal, and Penn State fan. And I mean Coastal Carolina University. That's just because of family things. So, guys, if you are on the TikTok side, come on over to the YouTube side. Go and come over here. Come check it out. I'll stay on the TikTok for a little bit, but I might not get all to every one of y'all's comments. So, yep, JB has been a tough Gamecock season. Nothing new though. You know, that's something I'm used to year in and year out for the past couple of years. All right. I watched the 22s. They're nowhere in the area after 30 yards. Josh Allen was the same way year one. Yeah, I mean, dude, this is yeah, we're gonna dive more into that. Let's get right into it. We got some news and updates. We'll dive into the play calling news for the Carolina Panthers as well. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. There is people over here. Make sure you pound that like button. I see that there is 15 people watching. We only got 7 likes already. So let's go ahead and get that up to 15 likes. All right. I would greatly appreciate that. It goes a long way. All right. So go ahead and pound that like button like it owes you money on the YouTube side here. 15 people are watching, only 7 likes. So let's go. The more we like, the more the algorithm gets out there, the more we can grow this channel, grow this community, the more people can come in. That chat will be going off. It's just a good way to help and support the channel for free. The QB, you know who, can't say it in here, was fire again. I know who you're talking about. We're finally go 0-7. Right. Lost the script. Honestly, guys, now that this whole play calling changing is happening right now, I'm not going to be surprised. Well, don't be surprised if Scott Fitterer comes up to that podium about getting fired. But yeah, the struggle. I mean, some news and updates. The struggles continue. I mean, obviously, this Carolina Panthers season has just been an atrocious season already. 0-6. Too many egos. Too many egos. Too many voices. No discipline, no execution, no motivation, no organization. Just too much going on. And Frank Reich, I think, finally definitely noticed that throughout these games with the play calling. It was finally saying, hey, you know what? It's time for me to hand over the reins over to Thomas Brown. I can't be a head coach and a play caller and a game manager and a quarterback development coach all in one, which should have happened at the beginning of the season. Williams, you should be fine. But anyways, so let's take a quick look here. I mean, it was a disappointing loss. I've never seen the offense, though, come out and start off hot, right? Never saw us come out, start hot, punch them right in the mouth, which is what you want to see, right? It's crazy to me, right? It's crazy to me. We got a winless record. The franchise is facing a lot of crisis in there. Given the high expectations set by the front office before the season began, I mean, this team must engage in some deep introspection, and these next coming days before they prepare for the Houston Texans Week 8. I mean, we're in so much turmoil. It's crazy because there are a lot of storylines going on out here, but I've never seen so much turmoil from an organization in my life. Bozeman emphasized on the run game. Obviously, we know Miles Sanders is out due to injury. They need to go ahead and trade him. The Panther, and then another thing is we actually managed to have a successful run game without him, and Chuba Hubbard and Raheem Blackshear did showcase that. It showcased that we don't need Miles Sanders, and it shows that Chuba Hubbard's the man to be at the running back 1 position. Because contributing a total of 108 rushing yards, 1 touchdown from 25 carries. I know it still has some challenges there, but Bradley Bozeman did stress the importance of establishing the run game as a primary method for asserting our dominance, but it also helps with controlling the play clock and the time of possession, because in these games right now, just like you saw against Miami, we started off 14-0, but then I felt like we ran away from the run game a little bit when we should have just continued to do so and kill the clock down, right? Kill the clock down. So, particularly considering the strengths of this offensive line, I think Bozeman believes that a strong run game can also bring opportunities for the pass attack, which I totally agree with him on that aspect. The run game opens up the pass. So offering basically a well-rounded offensive approach, right? So, I mean, Chuba definitely is RB1 and should be. Miles Sanders needs to get traded. And it's just time for that. Frank Reich might be fired if we lose next week. I don't know if he's going to get fired in his first season. We're going to end up looking like the Cardinals if we continue to fire our first head coach mid-season. We finna win by week, dude. I hope so. Justin Bryant, thanks for coming over this way, brother. I don't know, man. We lose the bye week. We might lose the bye week too. You can't lose the bye week, right? You can't lose the bye week. Excuse me. I'm sorry. So we finally go 0-8, fellas. We'll see. What's up, JSK? Appreciate you joining. Matt Chatter. What's up? Bryce Young is in QB hell. Yeah, I mean, he's coming to one of the worst situations in football. Never play hard in the third or fourth. That undisciplined. Yeah, it's undisciplined and unmotivated football in the second half. How many players do you think get traded before the deadline? Well, obviously there's trade rumors, Chris. There's trade rumors right now, which we're going to talk about. We'll dive into more of that. But right now, I will say there's 3 names on the board: Terrace Marshall Jr., Jeremy Chin, and Dante Jackson. Okay, these are all the 3 guys that are on the board to be traded, at least rumor wise. I think Miles Sanders should be added to that list, but we'll see, because someone's going to have to take over Miles Sanders' contract, and I don't see that happening. I think it's right hand. Oh, I've been calling Brandel. That should have been done. This play calling stuff should have been done at the beginning of the season. You can't be a head coach, an offensive coordinator, a game management. You can't do all those things at one time. You just can't. So it was too much on his plate. It was too much on his plate. Bryce is 5'9", who can't throw deep and can't run. He is not the blameless. He got put in the work. No, Chris, Scott stinks. Scott definitely stinks. Scott's definitely getting fired. After what I witnessed from Frank Reich's press conference today, Scott Fitter is getting fired. But also Frank Reich still continues to throw these little hints about David Tepper, which is hilarious. He throws these little hints in his press conference, like throwing Tepper on the bus. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Black Cat Panther podcast in here. Appreciate you, brother. I was watching y'all show earlier, so shout out to y'all, man. Y'all always over there killing it, boys. You're always over there killing it, Black Cat. So 17 people are watching, only 10 likes. Let's get up to 17 likes, guys. Come on. There's no reason why the like button shouldn't be pounded. All right. Shouldn't be pounded. You should be pounding the hell out of it. All right. Come on. It's not that hard. It's free. You don't got to pay a thing. Frank not getting fired. Yeah, no, he's not. Marcos Cash, we will run more now. Remember, Frank said he was. Yeah, I mean, but they for some reason continue to run away from it. Scott needs to be fired. Even Q knows that. Oh yeah. Anthony Brown, what's up? What's up, Anthony? Trade TMJ. Yeah, that's happening. Add Burns to the trade list as well. I'm sure there is some people ringing our phones for him. I will not be surprised if we are not getting phone calls from other organizations right now before the trade deadline asking about Burns. I can guarantee you. Rockstar has been on play call. Oh, dude, yesterday I was so mad after the Miami game. I went on Madden and beat the brakes off of Miami. I did them dirty just like they did the Bears this year. I also sent my Madden resume into the Carolina Panthers organization. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that, but it would have been funny. It would have been funny. If you could trade Burns for a first and a second round, would you do it? Absolutely. At this point, you have to. You got to look about your future. I mean, I would love to build around him, but without a first round pick this year, you can't. Right? I mean, if you're going to do this right, you got to do it now. And you got to start now, or we're going to continue to be waiting because right now we're 0-6. You don't have a first round pick. This team has the possibility, right? There's a possibility this team goes 0-17 without a first round pick. You're basically tanking for the first round pick in the second round, or the first pick in the second round. Sorry, I should say that. So if you can get a first round pick this year for Brian Burns, do it. Because you can't. You can't sit here. You can't sit here and hold on to him. As much as I would love to build around him, but he's the only guy that's going to get you a first round pick on this team. Yeah, I mean, I think you could trade. I think what they should do is try to trade Miles and a fourth round pick and see what they can get for him. Trade Miles for a fourth round pick, or trade Miles, attach a fourth round pick to it and see what you can get. Good. Tepper has to be a disaster to work for. He's dude. So Frank Reich, literally in his press conference today, threw a little slip in there talk about micromanaging. Because he was talking about handing the reins over to Thomas Brown, right? He was talking about handing the play calling over to Thomas Brown. And he literally threw this little snippet of saying, he goes, I know what it's like being micromanaged. Just saying. I think he's throwing a little heat over at he's throwing a little heat at David Tepper. So, I wouldn't be surprised. TikTok, if you're over here watching, come over to the YouTube channel, the Ropp Star Report. Come check it out. My link tree is in my bio. All you have to do is click on it, and then you see YouTube channel, click on that, and it'll take you directly to it. So come on over. Elaborate on what you mean by what Frank said. Oh, okay. I just said it just now, Randall. Sorry, my bad. 18 people watching, 12 likes. Make sure you pound that like button. 19 people watching. Make sure you pound that like button. Come on. Let's get up to 19. We should be up to 20 likes at this point, and we're only at 12. Come on. As you're coming in, guys, make sure you pound the like button. It helps the channel out tremendously. You don't understand. If Rams want to give us that offer from last year, we need to jump on. Oh, absolutely. I would hammer it cold-heartedly. I could definitely do some play calling. It would be surprised if it wouldn't be. Oh no, absolutely. His name's already on the trade block. There's no question about that. Burns had good value for a more advanced team. We're at the bottom. Yeah. I wouldn't be upset about it. I want him to succeed because I know he can be an elite pass rusher, and I think he could definitely fulfill his services somewhere else better right now. And I hate to say that, but we're in that kind of standpoint as an organization. You know what I mean? TMJ can't catch. All right, let me continue with these news and updates. All right, Maxi Sanchez, what's up, brother? Appreciate you joining. All right, let me get back into this right here. All right, so obviously Frank's evaluation of the Panthers. So he came out. Obviously we're facing the reality. Like I said. Oh, no, I already went over that. Oh, the uncertainty. Okay. So the uncertainty of the future and David Tepper's role. So the team owner now has to be thinking to himself. David Tepper has to be thinking to himself. That's under scrutiny because it's all over Twitter. It's all over social media. It's all over, YouTube, all of us content creators who are Panthers content creators are calling for this guy's head. Okay. He has to know that he's under scrutiny after this disappointing season so far. And the fans I mean, even the fans, us fans, right, we're tired. We're done. We're sick of it. It's been the same thing for the past 4 years. It's been mediocre. And when you told us, David Tepper, that you took the ownership, you said that you weren't going to accept mediocre, but yet you have. And it's time, we all are calling for changes within this organization. And obviously, there's speculation that persists about potential trades, major changes in the near future. The future of Frank Reich and his coaching staff appears closely tied to the development now, finally, of our rookie quarterback. Tepper, who is known for his hands-on approach, remains involved in this team's operations, and he's got a decision to make whether he needs to just go play golf and go and do the business side of things. He does not need to be involved in the football operations. You've never scouted football. You've never coached football. Okay. You've never done, you don't even know the X's and O's. I'm sure the hell David Tepper hasn't even played Madden. You should not be getting involved if you have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to scouting and players and picking up free agents or drafting players. David Tepper needs to be an owner that just kicks back, does the business side of things, and plays golf. He should be worried about selling tickets. And you know how you do that? You stay out of football operations. You let the football guys be the football guys, because they're the ones who know, who can seek talent, who can see it. Now, Scott Fitter and our scouts and his team in the front office, I think that we do need to have a conversation about them getting fired, because obviously this free agency and the drafts that he has put together so far has just been atrocious. Besides, I would say, a name a few players, but other than that, you could definitely say that this organization definitely needs to look into that. But we got to be a little positive. So Bryce has been progressing, I feel like. All right. I felt like yesterday we saw some positive strides from him. He still seems to be comfortable. And even against a Miami team that's as good as they are, definitely showed some signs of growth. Right now, even Coach Frank Reich acknowledged his progress, emphasizes his ability to read the field effectively. I mean, we're going to dive more into his performance. We're going to do a deep dive into his performance. Wright also highlighted the need for an overall offensive improvement, which we all know that, between depth, talent, wide receivers, tight ends, right? Because the Panthers must make adjustments, particularly after scripted plays, to harness Young's potential and support his development. That's what I've been asking for. I've been asking for this organization or this team, this coaching staff to say, okay, like Frank Reich, hand over the play calling Thomas Brown. Now create a system that works for Bryce, because no matter if we want CJ Stroud or not, like, again, the past is the past. You got to let that go. Now you have to work with what you've got. But also, Bryce does not have any help. If you go look up at the the PFF grades that we did yesterday. Okay? Go look at the PFF grades. We looked at the PFF grades yesterday after the game with Black Cat Panther Podcast. And we'll go over that here shortly. We'll go over that shortly. Panther Raider X, if Frank is not the problem, it was just his play calling, then brings us to firing Scott. That's not, I mean, It's not that. It's just that the fact of the matter, we're seeing that the talent on this team and the lack of depth that we have is the reason why we're also in the position that we are. And that's the biggest reason why Bryce is struggling too, because he has no time to throw. Wide receivers aren't getting open. Run lanes aren't being created, but they definitely have been. It was definitely, I will say, there has been improvement. Okay. There has been improvement. It's not, it wasn't a massive improvement, but it was definitely some improvement. We definitely progressed a little bit in that aspect of things. Frank has already said he was made to push the win. Now the narrative when reality are developing a rookie quarterback by I totally agree with that. I think we haven't been embraced the rebuild yet. For the last 3 seasons, we thought we were a player or two away from success, and it cost us time. Guys, we all know that. I mean, Randall, you know what I mean? Like, I've been saying that too. We have yet to do a true rebuild. We've done, yes, we've gotten draft picks, we've had first round picks, blah, 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 blah. But we've never did a true rebuild where we cleaned house and started from the bottom and actually chose 1 to 2 players on both sides of the ball, because normally there's I would say 2 to 3 players that on both sides of the ball you're normally building around, right? And we've never done that. We've never done that. In the past 3 to 5 years, we've never done that. We've never done a true rebuild. We've only ever done a retool, right? I will shut up if I'm wrong, but what would it take? Step back and stand straight up. Don't he need a QB coach? Well, I mean, technically, Josh McCown is his QB coach, right? He's the one they brought in to be the QB coach, right? I mean, Josh McCown's the QB coach. That's who they brought in. I think Chris Mack, yes. There was a couple times that Chark was, there was probably 2 or 3 passes that he missed deep on Chark. Absolutely. He definitely needs to work on his deep ball accuracy. It is an issue. I don't think they're teaching him that. I think it's a learning curve in his game, Matt Chatter. I sure hope Thomas Brown's play calling will lead to better things. I do want to say this, guys, on this channel right now. Okay, I want to make this clear. If Thomas Brown's play calling doesn't change anything, y'all have to all continue. If it doesn't change, and if him calling the plays doesn't change anything, we need to keep that same energy, because that will prove my point. That the fact of the matter is that we lack talent and depth. It will prove my point that Scott Fitterer deserves to be fired. But I do see Thomas Brown coming up with an offense that fits Bryce. Him coming from a background of Sean McVay, I do see some kind of offense that's going to fit around Bryce. And we're going to dive more into Thomas Brown, who he is, how his play calling kind of goes. His QB don't run and can't throw deep, so I mean, Bryce can definitely run, but the thing is I'd like to see more out of pocket plays. I like to see some more pre-motion snap plays. I'd love to see some more bootlegs, moving Bryce outside the pocket to throw the ball. I think that that's something that we need to see more of. What would be the plan of if we trade Burns for a first? I mean, I think that here's the thing, guys. I get that we want to put weapons on this team. We want to get wide receivers. We want to get good tight ends. We want to put that around Bryce, right? We want to build this team around him and put some talent out there. But at the same time, it is harder for you to build within the trenches over time than it is getting a wide receiver or tight end. It is. In the NFL, it's harder to build that front lines on both sides of the ball than it is to get a wide receiver and weapons like that to help out your quarterback. So I would say if we go into the first round, if we do get a first round pick somehow and we make some kind of trade, you've got to build within the trenches and you got to do it now because it's going to take a lot longer for this team to become a franchise or become a winning team if you're not winning in the trenches. Wide receivers, you can get them. Running backs, you can get them. You can get talent like that. That's a lot. I would say that's a lot more. There's more of those that come by than there is on the offensive line and defensive line, talent wise. I believe we have a David Tepper problem. We do. He needs to stay out of football operations, folks. Been saying that. No, JSK. There's multiple problems. There's multiple problems. I've came on here and said every problem we have, and it's if I had to add it all up, it's like 15 things. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, there was some times that Bryce should have been just taking a 3-step drop. There's times that Bryce needs to just be taking a 3-step drop and getting the ball out. And a lot of time we saw that against Miami. There's not enough of that. He's kind of stepping back, holding on to the ball, trying to find someone open. So that's an issue. But he should be able to take a 3-step drop and then release. But that also could be a play calling issue too. But it seems like the only person that continues to get open over and over again is Adam Thielen, who's 32 years old. So what is it that these other wide receivers aren't doing that he is? Like, why is a 32-year-old man making these young guys like TMJ, DJ Chark, LaVisca, Mingo? Why are these guys not able to get open and create separation, but Thielen, who's 32 years old, can? That makes no sense to me. James, I am talking about the Carolina Panthers. I am a Carolina Panthers YouTuber, and I do a lot of TikToks about the Carolina Panthers as well. But I'm on my YouTube channel, and I just figured I'd go live on TikTok and kind of just talk about what I'm talking about over here. But if you want to come see it from a different angle and come see the presentation, more than welcome to go to my link in my bio and come on over here. Or you could just type in the Ropp Star Report on YouTube. If we don't beat the Bears or Colts, there's a good chance we go in 17. There's a good chance we're going 0-17 before I even thought about that. Alex Stark comes in and says, I definitely see more chemistry with Bryce and Thomas Brown than with Wright. Hopefully this leads to some signs of progression. Yeah, exactly. Because Thomas Brown's going to be able to communicate with Bryce a lot better because all he's doing is worrying about the play calling. When Frank Wright was trying to communicate with Bryce, game manage, and play call all in one. And that just doesn't work that way. Jarvis, I have no idea who the owner should be next if we moved on from David Tepper. I don't know. But Jarvis to this, yes, that's what I've been calling for. So even if Thomas Brown gets the reins, he still needs to put a system that fits Bryce's game and his development because that's the only way you're going to do so. Toxic Black, what's going on, man? Appreciate you joining the live stream because he was running the short routes, right? I guess. Leland knows how to get open regardless of age and speed. These young guys just don't, and it's a burden to Bryce. Absolutely. Dude, I mean, here's another thing. Thielen is top 5 in every category and when it comes to wide receivers right now. It's crazy. But he's the only person on this team that's getting open. You know? He's the only person on this team that continues to get open consistently. Now we losing also match. Desmond Ritter ain't it, huh? Toxic. Desmond Ritter ain't it. I hope it works and we win some games. I hope so too. I hope so too. All right, let's move on. So here are my kind of my reflections on the game. All right. Yes, he is open deep, Matt Chatter. I will say that. Chark is open deep, but we're missing Bryce's development and the deep pass needs to be addressed for sure. And the deep pass needs to be addressed for sure. All right. So my early impressions. I mean, we shined, right? We started off really good, and then we just faded away. You know, we established a commanding 14-0 lead by the end of the first quarter, and then 3 quarters later, the Miami Dolphins literally outscored us 42-7 the remainder of the game. In the second half, they scored 35 unanswered points. So, but Bryce Young, ongoing development. Consistently, this has been emphasized. We need to have some patience and perspective, but despite a challenging start, right, to the season, it's important to recognize that Bryce Young, a rookie quarterback, is still evolving and improving. This week is no exception. Young showcased his potential by leading the Panthers to 138 yards and a 14-0 lead in the first 2 drives. His connection with Thielen continues to impress me. There are glimpses of success in the run game. Chuba Hubbard's definitely the running back number 1. Although this team struggled to gain yardage for the rest of the game, and Young added another interception to his season stats, it's vital to remember that Young's grasp of this offense is gradually getting stronger. And each week, his physical and mental abilities shine a bit brighter, and the positive trend is expected to continue. Now, with the Panthers heading into a bye week before a matchup against fellow rookie, second round pick overall, Young has a valuable opportunity here to prepare himself well for this upcoming challenge. Now, let's talk about these exploring trade rumors, guys. All right, let's talk about these exploring trade rumors. Chat, let's see what we got going on. Man, you better have the membership fixed. It should be fixed. It should be fine. I've gone into the studio and messed with it a couple times, Walt. I've looked into it a couple times for you, Walt. I mean, there's nothing that says on my end that it's not working or it's not set up. Yeah, I don't know. The memberships. Yeah, I mean, I've already got 2 people signed up. Here. I mean, maybe I can do this. Here, I'll add a link. That's so weird, though. I don't know why it's not working for you. Your Discord link is broke too. Let me. I'll update it for you. It won't take long to do that. I'll update it for you. Give me 1 second here. I'll fix this real quick. Damn, cuz you're going into all that shit. Where is this shit at? Okay. All right, hold on. I'll have to add tags later. All right, I'll fix the membership here shortly. Walt, I'll fix the membership here shortly. I'll see, and then I'll fix the Discord as well. All right. I'll get all that stuff fixed for you later after the show. All right. NFL field is 53.3 yards wide. So the wide out are far away to Bryce. Yeah. He needs serious coaching. Yeah, he needs some development for sure. I'm not going to say that, but um he definitely showed that he can play in this league. Um the most optimistic possibilities of the Panthers winning will be against the Colts, Titans, Cowboys, Saints, Falcons, and Buccaneers. So it should be 5 or 6 if the Panthers could hold on to the leads. I mean, Jarvis, I think the Texans is the one that we can win too. I just, this team is just like I said, guys. I'm not going to say we're going to win any games. Okay. I'm not going to say we're going to win any games until this team proves to me otherwise. Until this team proves to me otherwise, then I will say that this team will win some games. Once I will say this. Once we get a win, we'll talk more about games that we can possibly win. Well, we need to get a win under our belt. Nope, it's you. Okay. Like I said, Walt, I'll fix all the links. I'll fix the Discord and the membership link. So don't worry about that. Do the Panthers Nation of fans think we can beat Houston? I'm not saying it's not possible. So, guys, let me be honest with you. It's not possible. But we have to understand that they need to prove to us first that they can win a game. Prove to me you can win a game, and then we'll go from there. All right. The Panthers have to prove to me that they can win a football game, and then I will say, yeah, we can win more games. But only time will tell. Maybe the Bears too. The Fields. I mean, that's a possibility too. Don't get me wrong. Coaching has yes, absolutely agreed. Perfect. All right, so the trade rumors. Okay, there are trade rumors out here. So Brian Burns is one. Obviously, his name's been thrown around. Dante Jackson's one. We know that, but it's going to have to come with the right price for Dante Jackson. Okay, guys, because Dante Jackson and whatever team decides to trade for him, it's going to cost them $15.8 million next year. Okay. Abdul Simmons, it's not out of the cards. I can tell you that. 0-17 is not out of the cards for this team. Jeremy Chen's also name's been thrown around, and Terrace Marshall Jr. These could be wise strategies for this team because this organization currently finds itself at some crossroads. You either sit because you're seeking to improve the current roster without compromising your future potential. Okay. Considering this, the prospect of trading key veterans in exchange for valuable assets should be seriously considered because it's time for this front office to be proactive and assertive in reshaping this team's future. Because while winning remains a goal at this point, because we haven't won a game, it's not the top priority at this stage. But what matters most is improvement and setting the right tone for this team's long-term success. This front office has a golden opportunity to fully commit to this mindset from now to the end of the trade deadline. Because ensuring that there are sufficient resources to bolster this roster when the time is ripe for competitiveness, they have done so. But I do not trust, I will say this, I do not trust the Panthers front office to make the correct moves. We've already seen that with Scott Fitter and Dan Morgan up there and everybody else. They didn't do the right moves in the draft. Scott Fitter didn't pick the right players in the draft. And And then he didn't do it in the free agency. And didn't do it in free agency. We lack in talent and depth in so many positions. Obviously, injuries have plagued this team as well. But at the end of the day, we still did not do the correct moves through the draft for free agency by building the depth and talent within the right positions of need. Now, in conclusion to this, though, I will say the Panthers did display some promise, but ultimately they still fell short. Amar, how bad do you need running backs? Because in that trade, it just depends on how bad you need running backs. So the decisions for the Panthers, okay? The decisions for the Panthers here. Dante Jackson can go for a half a bag of soggy Doritos. Yeah, I mean, we ain't going to get that. I mean, I get it, but that ain't happening. That ain't happening. No, yeah, I think you'll be fine, brother. I think you'll be fine. No, I think you'll be good. I wouldn't worry about it. You got 3 guys. I mean, if they put up 12 to 13 points apiece, you're good. Chase Harrelson, I'm going to look to trade away Mark Cooper. I have CMC James Cook right now. My wide receivers are Waddle, Dante. I don't know, Mar. I mean, your team sounds pretty solid. Each got to put up 13. I think you can. I think they can. Those are all pretty solid guys. I wish they would have they could have trade or let Sanders go and bring back Deontay Foreman if possible, because Foreman was a damn good running back last year. Yeah, I wish the same thing too. I wish we would have kept him. Anthony Brown, I've been calling for this for a while. They should keep Burns and fire coach and GM. Fortunately, Abdul, the thing is we're gonna have to trade Burns if we want a first round pick this year. If not, then we're basically the 0-17 question does come into play, because then you're basically tanking for the first pick in the second round. Another thing, fire your coach. I mean, Frank Reich's not going to get fired in his first year. We're going to end up looking like the Arizona Cardinals, and that's not going to happen. GM, yes, I can see that being a possibility. So, with these trade rumors, anyways, so let's evaluate the aftermath of this game, though. No one anticipated I don't think any of us anticipated that this team would be the last winless team in the NFL after 6 weeks in the season. Okay. Even the most pessimistic NFL observers didn't see this scenario happening. Nevertheless, reality paints a grim picture for this team, guys. The Panthers are on 6. They entered their bye week. To put it in perspective, no team has ever made the playoffs after losing their first 6 games of the season. So let's just get that out there. At this point of the season, isn't about playoff hopes at this point or winning this division. It's about showcasing signs of progress, potentially uncovering new key contributors. Due to injuries, this coaching staff will have a chance to assess various players at different positions on both offense and defense. And depending on the Panthers' actions at the trade deadline, these opportunities could multiply, because as you might heard, the Panthers are open to trade discussions, right? Players like Chen, Dante Jackson, Terrace Marshall have been mentioned as available for a trade. Brian Burns, is also in the conversation, but ideally, I think the team would like to, obviously keep him around as a part of this rebuilding process, but I don't know if they can without a first round pick in 2024. So what should the Panthers do? Right? There's no um there's no need to completely dismantle this team. Being 0-6 doesn't equate to being 5 years away from their competitive football. Being 0-6 doesn't equate to being 5 years away from competitive football. You're never as bad or as distant as you might think. Okay? Especially when you have a promising young quarterback already on your roster. So, is trading Brian Burns a sensible move? It hinges on the package of picks received in return. So, if I were Scott Fitterer, it would have to be a deal that's too enticing to pass up on. Because top tier pass rushers are a rare commodity in this league, and every team conveys them. So while receiving a first round pick in 2024 would be ideal, it may not make a substantial difference if you're sending Burns to a playoff contender. You won't land a top 5 or top 10 pick for him, right? So then you trade, right? Trading Jeremy Chin or Terrace Marshall seems to be more the practical approach because Chin hasn't played as significant role in the defense as anticipated at the start of the season. So over the last 2 weeks, he's been on the field for only 44 defensive snaps. Through the season, he's taken part in just 52% of all defensive snaps. So he's in his final year of his contract, but offers he has that versatility of a player, right? He can play nickel, play safety, he can play middle linebacker. He can play outside linebacker, but I think he fits more in the middle linebacker because of his, being pretty good in the pass, right? But I think he's a great run defender as well. But he's making him an attractive option for a potential suitor. You might secure a 4th or a 5th round pick for him, which is better than nothing. I think honestly, I've seen trade rumors out there that we could get a 4th and a 6th for him. And if Scott Fitter does a really good job, you could get a 3rd and a 5th. As for Marshall, I think a change of scenery might be what this kid needs. His time in Carolina has not panned out well. I think he still possesses the talent, right? The size, the overall skill set. Again, I don't expect a massive return, but it's worth exploring a trade possibilities because we've witnessed gradual improvement from Bryce every week, right? And the offense finally found some success in the run game. Now, perhaps after the bye week, things will start to click. This part of the schedule has highlighted when it was, first released back in the spring, a 3-game stretch against Houston, Indianapolis, Chicago, does offer an opportunity to secure, right, their first win and potentially gain momentum, right? So this is why I don't believe Fitter will make any blockbuster moves. There's a chance that this team can finish the season strongly, maybe like last year's group, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the opportunity that exists, a strong finish could happen over into 2024, but we'll see. We will see. Again, that's another thing that time will tell, right? What's up, everyone over there on TikTok? Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody over here joining the live stream over here. Make sure you tap the screen over here on TikTok. All right. And if you want to see me from a different angle or view, come on over to the YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. Mitch should have gotten CJ. I don't think it would make a difference in our season, Mitch. Honestly, I don't think it would make a difference in our season. So, because we have multiple issues over here. I'm open to advice on how to continue supporting the Panthers, even though everything seems horrible. Jarvis, you can just continue to support me. That's it. I'm just messing, man. Um, you just gotta if you're gonna be you got to be if you're a ride or die fan, man, you just got to. You just got to. You have to just continue to keep pounding, right? Make a trade with Arizona team for a first round pick. You might be able to. You might be able to. I also admire those fans who are still positive and optimistic, even though the owner and other higher ups seem to not care about any of us fans. I don't know how some of the Carolina fans are still optimistic, but I've seen more negatives than I have positives from our fan base. I will say that. I was thinking if Bryce starts slinging it, wide receivers to start slinging it, wide receivers start getting separation, running game gets going, O line starts blocking, defense tightens up. Do you think the Panthers should make Thomas Brown head coach? I mean, Marcos Cash, Thomas Brown could, if he turns this offense around, we're putting up more points, 20 more points than, putting up more than 21 points. And yes, if those wide receivers and run game starts going and the O line starts blocking, sure, from an offensive standpoint, but I won't say just because Thomas Brown's play calling is going to help the defense tighten up. Now it could, because then that means that we're staying on the field a lot longer, right? That means the offense is staying on there a lot longer. So it could, but will it is the question, right? Will it is the question. I'm really hoping we finish strong. We got to be optimistic about the future. Well, Maxie, I will be more optimistic about the future if, you know, if we got a first round pick. Did you hear that T Brown was playing calling plays in OTAs, training camp, 2-minute offense in games? I mean, Marcos Cash, yeah, I've been known that. But for some reason, Frank Reich felt the need that he should be doing all three just because we have a rookie quarterback. But look how that's turned out. Look how that's turned out. If this offense comes out and drives down the field in the next game against the Texans and we put up 14 points and we win, and let's say we hold on to that lead and we win that game against the Texans, I will then say I was right that Thomas Brown should have had the play calling. But if I don't see a difference, I'm going to have that same energy I do now about this organization. I'm going to hold on to my word. So that's what I'm saying. If you don't see a change in this offense, make sure you hold on to your word. Right? Don't see strong finish to this season because team and players like Steve Wilkes are better. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's another issue we need to be discussing and we haven't talked enough about. And I was on Black Cat Panthers podcast yesterday blowing it up saying, hey, we have nobody from a coaching standpoint, right? From a coaching standpoint, we have nobody that is stepping up to these players and wanting them to excel. Like they're not stepping up and getting in their face, trying to give them some motivation and wanting these guys to excel. We're also not seeing anybody being disciplined either. I mean, hell, even our punter, who's the oldest guy on the team, if I'm not mistaken, is out here bumping heads and making guys flop and causing penalties because we're in that much disarray. There's no discipline to this team. Thanks, bro, and you're awesome, brother. No problem, Jarvis. No problem, Jarvis. Marcos, that is huge. No deep threat. Not much area to defend. Matt Chatter, you were just saying, though, DJ Chark is getting open deep. So what do you mean there's no deep threat? You're just contradicting what you're saying. You just contradicted what you were saying earlier. Bryce needs to work, I will say, needs to develop his deep ball accuracy. Honestly, Abdul, I don't think Evero is going to be a head coach in the NFL. I think that um I think I could see Thomas Brown being a head coach before him. Thomas Brown, when you hear the man speak, he sounds like a head coach. When you hear that man speak, he sounds like a head coach. But Matt Chatter, we were all also just saying that Bryce needs to develop his deep ball accuracy, though. We were just saying that. Oh, Damon. Oh no, Damon, you got Dan on there now. Damon, you got Dan on there now. Oh no. Oh no, don't do that to my boy. Oh. Oh no. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it had to be him. I hate it had to be him. GG's. But GG's, Damon. But I played y'all on Madden and beat the brakes off of y'all so mad yesterday. That's why we're seeing all these deep shots to Chark during training camp. It was T. Brown. Absolutely. He opened up the play calling. 49ers players love Steve Wilkes. Oh, because he's a hell of a freaking defensive minded coach. Oh, Damon. Damon. So we've got decisions to make, man. So let's dive into Bryce's performance. First things first, I want to say about Bryce. Bryce's field vision was the number one thing I first thought, because heading into the NFL, one of the main concerns surrounding Bryce was his height, as he stands around 5'10". All right. Many question whether his stature would hinder his ability to effectively read the field. Now, however, over the first 6 weeks of his NFL career, Young has put these concerns to rest, because Young's ability to see the middle of the field was evident, particularly during the touchdown throw to veteran wide receiver Adam Thielen, which gave us that 14-0 lead. And any doubts about his height affecting his vision, I think, should be thrown out the window, because his other exceptional qualities more than compensate for his perceived limitation. So, happy Sabres fan. You look like you need a shot of Henny. I got you. I'm not a Hennessy fan, my friend. Another thing, Bryce Young, surgical first half. I felt that, you know, with the pressure going on, the expectations of this team, the atmosphere we were in, reduced the expectations, allowed Young and the offense to perform better. I wouldn't say it was the best performance we've seen, or I mean, I think it was the best performance we've seen all year, sadly, but it was better. A little bit, it seemed a lot more freedom. I will say that, which resolved in that 14-0 in the first quarter. I mean, Young definitely displayed confidence in the pocket. He had some clutch throws during key moments. While there were a couple passes I'd like to see him have back, but overall, the performance in the opening half I thought was quite promising. I think the Panthers were obviously never expected to completely shut down the Dolphins. We all knew that. And despite the momentum shifts in the second quarter, I felt that Young still remained composed and control and moving the chains efficiently, because if you go look at his first half stats, right? First half stats statistically, right? He had a 70% completion rating, 141 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and 1 sack against himself. All right. And then his passer rating was 106.5. So, although the Panthers fell behind 21-14, and as they struggled to contain deep plays defensively, it really didn't diminish the comfort and poise displayed by Young as he continues to evolve into a productive quarterback. But his poise, man, still is evident, man. Early in the game, you know, his poise is still another takeaway I took from his performance on Sunday. I mean, Our offense, obviously Miami offense showcased their electric, how explosive they are. Their defense made some excellent plays with the playmakers they have, especially when protecting a lead. Now these circumstances were challenging, and they were just a superior opponent at the end of the day. But Bryce still remarkably continues to stay poised even in these games like this. And for me, it was understood that there would be rough patches, which there is with any young rookie quarterback. But given the difficult environment we were in Miami, the team's overall performance wasn't too bad, at least from the offensive standpoint, right? I mean, nevertheless, Young handled the pressure well. He read the game effectively, pre-snap, and took care of the football, all of which are signs of growth in his progression. Like I said, his poise and ability to process information quickly, even in the face of adversity, is pretty evident. And the offensive line instability, the over reliance on Adam Thielen in the passing game, these are factors beyond Bryce's control, right? Young's ability to elevate those around him is becoming increasingly important, though. All right. Now, Bryce Young's progress, right? Despite obviously losing the game, the performance still was marked as a step in the right direction. Because now, as we enter the bye week, we're 0-6. The focus now shifts to Young's development over the remaining 11 games of the season. Skeptics may persist largely to this team's struggles, but essentially to recognize Young's steady progression, guys. Week by week, the Panthers offense occasionally displayed some improved fluidity, like we had some kind of identity, right? Particularly, though, when Young operated at a high-tempo scheme with simplified play calling. So the big picture here suggests that the undeniable growth from week 1 to this week is, you could see it. Even though the offensive line protection left much to be desired, in my opinion. So as the Panthers approach this bye week, it's time for them to reflect, make adjustments, along with strategic offensive changes, with Thomas Brown taking the play calling, align Young's strengths up in that system. The primary mission now is to ensure that Young can draw positives from this, and despite the imminent confirmation of another challenging season. So overall, his performance to me remains a beacon of hope, and amid the Panther struggles, his continued development is a central focus for the team as they navigate a challenging season. All right. So that's why we're seeing all these deep shots to chart. Yeah. I already read all that. Frank Reich needs to not call stuff. He's not going to now. Dan loved my PFP. Oh, did he? I bet he did. So the next subject comes to let Thomas Brown cook. Let him cook. Sideburn. Yeah, I'm getting into the last thing, or at least the last topic, and then we're going to dive into the PFF grading. DJ, Panthers versus Texas, going to be a fun game to watch. I hope so. Because the rest of the games most of the games we've seen this season, from my standpoint as a Panthers fan, has not been very fun to watch. It's not been very fun to watch. What about a trade with New England? Possibly. I mean, but I don't know if New England's trying to tank or not. I think Belichick might be on his way out, honestly. I think Belichick might be on his way out. It's not looking good for them. I mean, I know that Mac Jones doesn't look good either, but I think it might be time for Belichick to put Put the playbook down. I'm going to the Jaguars football game that I miss Cam, the old Cam. Fumbles, me too, man. Me too. Going to the Jaguars football game that my second favorite team. Oh, nice. I didn't know that. Offensive line been stepping up too, way better than the first season games. Yeah, they've definitely been better for sure. Since Darnold, they call it a day late second quarter, not just young. Yeah, I mean, it's too late at a certain point. If I lose, if Lamb and Keenan get 34 points combined, one PPR, is there hope? I mean, there's definitely hope, Andy. I mean, anything can happen in fantasy, brother. Anything can happen in fantasy. Good afternoon, Sideburn. Appreciate you. Probably missed everything. Don't worry, man. You can always go back. This is always recorded and you can always go back. Belichick is fraud. So here's the thing. News has finally come out, and they're finally making the right move that they should have made in the beginning of the season. And the Carolina Panthers are finally going to let Thomas Brown cook. Frank Reich is finally letting this young man make the play calling. The Carolina, because this is a notable decision by Frank Reich. Because it's also showing the struggles that we have, because he's finally opted to hand over the play calling to Thomas Brown. Okay. With a week 7 bye on the horizon, the Panthers will have 2 full weeks to adapt to Brown taking charge of the play calling. Now, Wright's decision to relinquish this play calling responsibility comes as a response, obviously, to this team's disappointing start to the season. Is it fully on Frank Reich? No. Part of it is, though. Right? We all agree in here, chat, that, right? We all agree in here, chat, that it's not only is it Scott Fitter, not only is it David Tepper, not only is it this front office, right? Between the draft, the free agency that this front office has made, the moves that they made, we all agree that it's absolute booty. It's all on them, right? But the injury concerns, right? The injury concerns is also things that we have had to deal with. But now that you have you have Bryce Young, okay? And this offense has obviously failed to meet expectations. And after 6 weeks, we are ranked 23rd in both points per game and yards per game. So obviously we want more. There's much more that's being left behind here. It's making us desire more. Right? So in the recent game against the Miami Dolphins, we managed to, right? We first came out in that first quarter, punched them right in the mouth, put up 14 scores. Okay? But until the late fourth quarter, we didn't score another touchdown. And then they threw in their backup quarterback. Thomas Brown will now have the responsibility of the play calling, which brings a wealth of experience in his role. He served as the offensive coordinator for the University of Miami for the first 3 seasons. And then he was also part of Sean McVay's coaching staffs with the Los Angeles Rams for 3 seasons. One of the few bright spots in the Panthers offense this season has been obviously Adam Thielen. Okay. Notable, no other Panthers player has accumulated more than 16 catches or 200 yards. So with a couple of weeks to implement Brown's new play calling approach, the Panthers are going to gear up for that next game on October 29th, which they will face the Houston Texans, and we'll get to see the quarterbacks battle it out between CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. Get a round of applause sound. Oh, I got one. Here you go. See? I got one. I told you. Right? I got you. So There you have it. But here's the thing that I want to show y'all guys today, real quick. Okay. Here's the thing that I want to show you guys real quick. I want to show you all this craziness from yesterday that I was seeing on PFF. Look at this team. I actually kind of want to see what this team looked like against Miami. I want to see what their PFF grade was against Miami. Let's see if they got the premium stats up for. Okay, here we go. So here's the stat. Here is our grading. Here's our grading from PFF for yesterday's game. This is our grading from PFF. So here you go. Isn't this nuts? These are the offensive grades. Adam Thielen got the number 1 ranked offensive grading. Tommy Tremble or Taylor Moton got the number 1 offensive grading. Or number 2. Y'all can't see that? All right, hold on. Let me do it this way then. Nope. There we go. Is that better? Or is that better? I think that's better. Can you see that better now? This is our offensive grading overall. Right here. It's terrible. All right, perfect. So your number 1 offensive grade, you got Adam Thielen. Taylor Moton, number 2. In pass blocking, he did really good. But in run blocking, he was 55.9. Tommy Tremble, for some reason, they put him as number 3. Raheem Blackshear got the 4th. Bryce got the 5th. Cade Mays got the 6th. Justin McCray got the 7th. Hecker got the 8th. Wooten 9. All these guys tied for 9th. Then it came down to Akeem Ekwonu. Now, Akeem Ekwonu in this game actually did a decent job in pass blocking. Surprisingly enough, they gave him a 73.5. Surprisingly enough, they gave him a 73.5, but in this run blocking position, he was terrible at run blocking in this game. Right. So then but here's the thing I want to show y'all, okay? Just by the team. Let's go by the team. All right. I want to show y'all this. No. Hold on. No. I wanted to show in a different chart way. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to show you. Oh, here it is from the line. I want to show it from the lineup. So here's your grading overall from the lineup positions. So this is by offense and defense. This chart's going to show us these gradings that PFF is giving these players. Okay. Okay. So here's our offense. Now, our offense, okay, this is the offense. It's in a 3 wide receiver set personnel. That's what we've got it set at, okay? Yeah, team. Oh, come on. All right, here we go. All right, so we've got this offense down here with a 3 wide receiver set. Okay. This is the grading that they have. This is their overall grade. That's his offensive grading overall. A 59.8. Pass blocking, he's a 62.3. And then the run blocking is a 68.3. So that's an issue there. Mays, left guard, offensive overall grade 55.7. Pass blocking 48.3. Okay. Okay. Then you look at it. I mean, it's bad, man. This is rough. Look at his run blocking 62.0. Look at him compared to 2022. That's got to say something, guys. I mean, Cade Mays, look at him. Offensive grades of 55.7. Right? All right, look at Bozeman. Offensive grade 59.3. Pass blocking is a 40.8. And run blocking is a 65.8. Look at him over the years. 2021, it was a 73.6. And then ever since 2021, he's gone downhill. This just proves that we are offensively. If you're looking at this offensive line and you're looking at the talent around him besides Young. Okay. Obviously, Young is at a 51.0 by PFF. But the reason why is look at chart below average. Quanu overall below average. Mays below average. Bozeman below average. Throckmorton below average. Moten average. Hurst below average. Mingo below average. All of this proves that right here. Look at Thielen, an 84.3. 11th best wide receiver in the NFL. Best slot wide receiver in the NFL. And he's got an 84.3 grade by PFF. Hubbard's got a 71.9. And now with what he's doing, he's averaging, I'm pretty sure, he's averaging 4.5 yards per carry. Receiving, we've seen him improve. Now, I know he's got a 58.0, but his rushing an 80.8, that's really good grading by PFF. They're being generous with that. Now, if we go back, right? I mean, you look at these wide receivers, though, man. It's rough. Now, let's look at it from a 2 tight end personnel. Thielen becomes the outside guy. He's still an 84.3 there, but still 57.6. Mingo, 56.6. All right. Now, defensively, let's look at the defense now. Let's go from a base standpoint first. Okay, this is your base. You got Dante Jackson over here, 50.8. Dante Jackson by PFF. Look at this. 50.8 defensive grade. He's pass rush. He's a 60 coverage grade. He's a 55.2 run defense. He's a 38.1. And he's just gone downhill. He's only had one good season. And that was in 2020. And we signed this guy for a big contract. Why? Look at CJ Henderson. Burnt toast. Pass rush grade, he's actually pretty good. But defensive grade overall, he's 44. Coverage, 40.9. 50.9. Terrible. That's a terrible grading from a defensive player. Biggest Brown fans, hey, good for y'all, man. I didn't think y'all were going to beat the 49ers. I thought it was going to be close, but I didn't predict y'all to win. I'll be honest. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong. But that defense is for real. I think the Browns might have the best defense in the NFL. But then look at this, guys. Obviously, our top players is Burns and Brown right here in the base lineup, but they're the top defensive players. But look at Shy Tuttle. I mean, Taylor, the Dolphins they're good, but I wouldn't say they have the best defense. But they made us look silly, that's for sure. But any team in the NFL can make the Panthers look silly, so let's be honest. Taylor, whatever. It's all good. But look at it. Look at this. Shy Tuttle, 58.2, man. $55.4, 60.8. I mean, this is all below average sit. And then look, he had 3 great seasons in a row, went downhill in 2022. Now he's just continued to digress. He continues to digress. Deshaun Williams. Okay. In 2016. After that, you don't see anything else. Had a great year in 2020, but then has just digressed. We literally have digressing players on the defensive line. Both of these guys are digressing. Houston hasn't done jack shit. What was the point of bringing this guy in? What was the point of bringing in Justin Houston? A 34-year-old outside linebacker. Now, don't get me wrong. He's been a stud over the years. Okay? And he was actually really good the last 2 years. But he has definitely digressed, and that age is starting to show. No offense. No offense to Justin Houston, but he is, guys, let's be honest. Look at this. You know what I mean? I mean, it's bad. So this is what we're talking about, TikTok. We're going through the Carolina Panthers PFF grading. And we're going through the defensive grading right now. Look at Kamu Gruger. Just terrible. This is Derek. This is PFF. I mean, look at this. This is why Jeremy Chin needs to be moved to the middle linebacker. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. Whoops. Sorry, TikTok. I'm trying to fix the camera here for you so you can see. All right. Terrible. So if you look overall, guys, I mean, this is just terrible. Now, if we go into a nickel defense, it doesn't change much. But why they got – look at this. This was from him yesterday. This is just his grading from yesterday because this is what he played yesterday. Look at the defensive grade he had yesterday against Miami. Why do we sign players like this? It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Chin in the nickel does not work. To just show you that as well. Chin in the nickel does not work. He needs to be moved. So I just wanted to show y'all that over here on TikTok and TikTok. This is the YouTube. So make sure you come over here, click the link tree, come check it out. All right. Come check it out. The link tree is will take you right to it. Peace. Thanks, TikTok. All right. So guys, that's it for today's live stream. I appreciate y'all. Cyburn, you can hear me now. You should be able to. I agree, but I'll also say that's Miami, the fastest wide receiver group maybe ever. Yes, but still. There is, but those grades are overall right now. That's not based off of one grade. Like all those grades we saw just now, based off those all those PFF grades, that was just not based off of the Miami game. All those grades were based off of overalls throughout these first 6 games. Just so you know. So that shows that we have a terrible talent and a lackluster of talent and depth on this team. So, anyways, guys, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new content. Make sure you go check out the Discord link. I'm going to update it in that link tree, so I'll update it so you can join it. Make sure you go check me out on all of my social media. I'm very active on all of them. Make sure you check out betusa.com. The link is in that link tree as well. I will also update the membership because I know some of y'all were asking about becoming members of the channel, which I greatly appreciate. So I will definitely update all of that. Okay. So I appreciate everyone joining. Peace.